I'm gonna run through some cloud fundamentals. So why am I doing this? Because I think it would be important for everyone to know how important the cloud really is and how we're using it now. So the fundamentals just helps you understand what it's doing and how it's going to impact you. So I know a lot of you guys probably write things down with a pen and paper, and that's wonderful. I mean, and technology is making it so you can do the same kind of thing if you buy like a special pen, as long as you have the right, as long as you have the right Apple device, you can absolutely write with it. So that's becoming a more common thing, except things like an iPad, it's expensive already. I start slapping this stuff on it, so that keeps it at a different level. But so going back to the cloud fundamentals, you're probably like, all right, so what's he going to be talking about today? So what is the cloud? So the cloud is your information being available in different programs wherever you are. Most technology now is used in cloud in order to keep information available when accessing the internet. So this is definitely unique because of the internet. So not all of us grew up with the internet, and we know how much it's, really taken shape. I mean, it started out as a communication tool. Now we're like throwing whole websites like YouTube. I mean, the big boys, eBay. I mean, this is like commerce and everything combined. So how does it help you specifically? So this is a basic example of how it's going to work. So on the consumer side, you have mobile phones, laptops, tablets, all that good stuff. But what's really keeping it together in the back is the network, right? Like everyone has a router or some internet connection. They have a special database. Database is just all of the information that you need to retain, like user accounts, all of that good stuff, files themselves. They have to get recorded in a database to be put in that specific, silo. Like you can't store it unless you know what it is, right? So it's not the actual file itself. That's just, it explains what's inside of all the information is collected. And then, like, what is the cloud really? It's super data enhanced computers that run somewhere else. So the Googles, the Microsofts, the Amazons, they all have lots of these servers. I'm not talking one computer, I'm talking thousands of computers that give you the ability to have the capacity to give them the files so you can get it from anywhere. And that's pretty awesome because think of all the stuff you have, think of photos, think of videos, think of stuff you want to jot down. So that's all basically in the same spot. So you're going to it, and then once you go to the internet and you hit this cloud, that's where all your stuff's going to be. So again, so what's the importance of that? The importance of that is these three players you guys would know. So I think we all know what this little piece of fruit is right here. That's Apple. Now this one's less common. If you see this little marshmallow cup looking guy, this thing is Android. So Android is something that is very big, but a lot more people I think have Apple. I think most of you guys probably have Apple, but Android is still a great alternative that a lot of people use. I use it. So and Microsoft, I think we all know this. So that's on your computer. If you log into it and there's like a little Windows button in the lower left-hand corner, I think we all grew up using this in some kind of capacity. But that one also has a lot of easy to use free stuff. I mean, there's lots of ways you can use these apps. I'm just going to give you a few of them so you know the programs that will help you in the free, right? So, Apple. This is what you do to create a new note. So I know a lot of you guys already know this, but if you open Notes, so that's a little application within your list. If you look on your iPad, you just can scroll around to it, or your phone, and you'll see this lets you make something. Now, the first line of the note becomes a title. So to change the formatting style of the title, and again, that's more like being specific, but these little dots up here can help you see more of the settings, and if you even go back, you can see that there's more options to actually help you tweak it. So the other thing is you can quickly get to it from the control center. So if you go to settings, so settings looks like a little gear on your phone or your iPad, and then just follow these notes. So then go to control center, which isn't something you guys probably go into a lot, and then add notes. And in the control center, you tap notes to create a note. So I mean, starting a note is pretty easy. And how many of you guys have Apple? Just by show of hands. Right. So I mean, it's really helpful to know some of these things. And again, we're going to tap on the information Microsoft.
Right. Jesse, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
You can enter notes sometimes on your isn't there like a picture of like a notebook on your sometimes
Yeah, right.
on
So
some versions?
actually, it's going to look. You guys can see it's not as easy, but the settings button is right here. So at the bottom, you'll see.
That's a note. Yep. There's a note. Yep.
Right, and the back right-hand corner,
Mm-hmm.
you can see it has a 1 on it. That's settings, so it's a little gear-looking thing.
Okay, that's how you get to it. Okay, great.
Yep. And
Abby had a question. Sorry, Jess.
I got
Abby?
a question.
Sure.
So you're saying then if I used to always put something on my notes, can I save it on the iCloud?
Yes, and
okay.
in by default, it's really saving a lot of information for you. That's why it keeps asking you if your storage is running low or something like that. I mean, I know they all have it, all of the providers. Everyone I've listed only lets you keep so much stuff. So
every time I put something in my notes, I keep deleting it because it's overflow my storage, and I keep buying,
I pay $2.99 a month, like $2.99, and I get enough. I try to manage that amount. If I see that I'm going too much, I'm saving too many things, I start putting it back in. They're deleting stuff. But
sure,
yeah, we all run into the same problem.
Now, just so you guys know that videos and pictures will destroy your storage capacity a lot, and then you'll have to keep increasing. Exactly what you said, but I mean, it goes from $2.99 to $5.99. I mean, it gets expensive. So if you're trying to save on space, it's not your notes when you're typing stuff like this out.
It's the pictures and videos.
Pictures and videos are going to just crush, especially videos. Videos is probably the most disk intensive in terms of storage.
Yeah, even though I noticed too, like even though you delete the pictures, even you have the storage already, it won't give you the space that you need.
Yep. And they're all different. So it's not like your Apple storage protects you from when you're using, say, Microsoft products or you're using Google. They're all separate. So, I mean, this is where you want to kind of keep it under. I mean, I don't think their email, that iCloud email, is as popular as the rest of their stuff because everyone's used to using their old school, whatever you're into, Yahoo, some people use, I use.
Yeah, I still have my high school email.
Right? I remember I used to have a Microsoft Hotmail. I don't know if they
I still have it. I have a Hotmail and a Gmail now.
Right. But
wait, the Hotmail is my main one, so I don't get rid of that one. That's my main, email.
So right now I'm going to show you guys a clip. I got a couple of these for each one, so it's not as like I'm just throwing you information. I want you guys to be able to see. So I'll play like a minute or two of this, and then we'll keep going. So here's the basics, and go to YouTube. It's right here, and these links will all be available for you guys to see.
This is the checkers game where grandson and granddad will bond.
The Notes app is pretty simple in that it lets you take down text and then sync that with all your iCloud devices. So I'm going to activate Notes here in iCloud Preferences on my Mac. And the OneNote I already have will sync with iCloud.
Oh, I got to do that.
I'll activate Notes in iCloud Settings, and the note from my Mac will appear. I'm going to add another note from my iPad and it will sync. catch with Notes are folders. On a Mac, I can go to View, Show Folders List. In here, I can create note folders for organization. This can be great if you want to separate notes for home and work, or maybe you want to have folders for all the different classes you're taking if you're in school. When I add folders, they'll sync to iCloud and appear on my iPad. The issue is I can't create, edit, or remove folders with the iOS version of Notes. So if you're going to use a note folder, remember you need to set those up on a Mac and then let them sync to your iOS devices. From my iPad, I can add or remove notes in these folders. I just can't edit the folders themselves.
Okay, so that's a glimpse into it, and like I said, I'm going to give you guys this deck so you can actually click on the links as well as watch it again from here if you want. So it's really your choice, and this way people that are also offline right now can get to it later if they have access to it. But I mean, it's really saying that you guys can do this. Now, the important part here is that when you log in, you know when it asks you your password every once in a while? It's like the thing, it's not the number code that you enter in. It's the one that you're putting, like it's probably a more secure password that you have. And a lot of people forget this one. But this is what ties everything together. So with Apple, when you have an iPad and an iPhone, which a lot of people do, it's important that you're using, I mean, most people are using the same credentials, but you want it to look the same. And I'll go over that again in a little bit, but just so you know, you need to know that to install applications on your computer, and it also prevents kids. I mean, they used to like, before they put in a policy where it only lasts like 5 or 15 minutes, something like that, because kids were just basically having their parents authorize an application, and they were just buying a bunch of games and all stuff. So, okay, so keep going here. So.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire.
Okay, so now Android. So this one, people also have, and I have this one. So the easiest way to explain it is Google Keep does like the same thing, but you're going to go in your Android. You're going to basically have to download this. So the symbol looks like a little, it says Google Play, and it looks like a, I know there's not nearly as many Android people. I know Carbon has one. So this is what the icon looks like. So it says Play Store on it. So if you guys can see, it's that triangle looking one on the left, the opposite from YouTube. So that little triangle one is going to let you download apps just like you would on iOS, but iOS or Mac, you guys already know that it's the app center. So then Google Keep, I'll keep this one quick.
Hey friends, I'm Tasia, and this is your Google Keep tutorial for beginners. So you might be wondering, what is Google Keep? Google Keep is a note-taking, list-creating task manager from Google, and it's completely free. There's a lot of reasons why you should be using Google Keep if you aren't already. So let's jump into how to use Google Keep. So part of learning how to use Google Keep is understanding its features, like collaborating with others, customizing your Google Keep home screen, and so much more. So first things first is how to access Google Keep. You can do so from the Google Keep mobile app, or one of the easiest ways to access it is directly from any tab in your Google account. So whether that's Gmail, Gcal, Drive, and so on, you can find Google Keep on the right-hand side of your screen here. It's the little yellow square with a light bulb in it. Alternatively, you can also head to keep.google.com to access a full screen version of your Keep account. So let's work off here for this tutorial so we can go more in depth. On the left-hand panel here, at the top is Notes, and under that is Reminders. And then directly underneath those is where you can view labels and create or edit labels to better organize your notes. But I'm going to get into more details on this left-hand panel in a little bit. So here in the main section of your screen are going to be any notes or task lists that you've created. But right above that is this text box that says take a note. This is really where you can get started on creating and organizing new notes and tasks or reminders. So click in the text box, and here you can add a title to your note and then start writing out your note. So this is why I find Google Keep.
So just to sum this one up, the good thing about this one is I'm not just showing you Android. This is also if you have a regular computer or you have another way in, because you can download Google Keep on either. So this isn't like you have to have an Android. I'm just showing you guys that there's many applications that are like cross-platform, meaning you can use multiple different ways to use it. Things like Apple's very protective, so their app store obviously is different from Google's. But in terms of like the applications like OneNote and a lot of the stuff I'm mentioning here, Google Keep, you can download on either one. You just gotta go to the App Store and type in, Google Keep to get it first. But Google is a great one because we all use Google a lot, and I mean it's a big part of tech.
So, Jesse, so what you're showing is, sorry, Jesse, pardon me, you were just showing us how to get to the note section in different ways, or in different, the first one was exclusively with Apple products, and this one you're saying it's Google Android, but it also, if you go to, it doesn't have to be just Google Android for notes. It's also, if you go to the website you mentioned, you can actually use it for notes as well.
Yeah, so you can actually, I mean, a lot of people would probably want to use a computer if you're documenting, maybe you're transcribing your notes that you actually physically wrote and you want to turn them into digital, because unlike Mike, I mean, Mike Lacerda said it's tough to read his handwriting. I can't read my own handwriting. And that's not part of the injury. That one was forever my problem, so I'm going to eat that. Yeah. So just remember that you can actually use the website itself. I think everyone uses Google a lot, and I thought this would be helpful. And again, for the, if you actually want to see these videos or even just tinker around, I'll send the deck out for you. So let's move on here. Okay. So lastly, OneNote. So you can download this for free from them, and it's not like you get the rest for free. So you guys probably know you have to pay for, you have to pay every couple of years for Office, and a lot of, we'll do that in another session. But things like Excel, PowerPoint, which I'm using to make this, all these things cost money. But this one specifically, OneNote, lets you make notes, and it's really easy to make notes on here. And it's structured like a note. Basically tabs, and through the tabs, like you'll have your main topic that you put into it, and then you can subdivide it to other things. I know that sounds complicated.
I signed up to be a dasher, and I absolutely love it. The sign up.
Hello everyone, it's Matt, and welcome to Collaboration Coach. In this video, I'm going to give you a beginner's guide to Microsoft OneNote, and then at the end, I'll share a few tips on how I use it. And before we start, if you like this video, please remember to subscribe to our channel as we post every week, and I don't want you to miss anything. Microsoft OneNote is a digital note-taking tool. You can use it to create notes and add content to them. And it stores your notes in the cloud so you can use them on whatever device you happen to be on. It's very similar to other note-taking tools like Evernote and Google Keep. You can install the OneNote app on iOS and Android devices and on Mac or Windows desktops. And there's a web version that works on almost any modern browser. As I said, OneNote stores all your notes in the cloud, and because they're in the cloud, it can sync those notes between all the devices you're using. So if you create a note on your phone, you'll immediately see it on your desktop. For the syncing to work, you need to log into OneNote. And to do this, you need a Microsoft account. Now, this could be one that you use at work.
Somebody saying something?
With Office 365, or from another Microsoft service like Outlook.com or Xbox.com and so on. Once you've logged in, you're ready to start making notes. In this video, I'm going to show you the Windows 10 version of the OneNote app, but the look and feel is pretty similar across all the different platforms it's supported on. So to show off what OneNote can do, I'm going to show you three things: how you organize your notes, how you add content to your notes, and how you share them. So how do you go about organizing your notes? The three main elements of OneNote are the notebook, the section, and the page. Pages are stored in sections, sections are stored in notebooks. At the top here, you can see the notebook, which is Matt at Collaboration Coach. Then along the left-hand side, you can see the sections, events, meetings, projects, and so on. And then next to that over here, you can see the pages within the sections. If I want to create a new section within this notebook.
So this one's a longer video, but just so you guys aren't like, wow, that looks complicated, it really isn't. So if you come in and you create a new note, you're going to add a section. So that section is basically like, what's the main purpose of the notebook? Just like if you had a notebook, right, you're going to write maybe on the front of it, like, what is this notebook? Otherwise, it's just a bunch of letters in your like journal, or you have to have a reason for describing what is the title, right? So then from there, it goes to adding a page. So a notebook has pages, or it would just be one page of whatever random thing a napkin or something. So that's, the purpose of this is to keep breaking it down, and then from the page, you put your notes in, and now everything will be separate. So it's really great if you're just trying to organize, and if you follow like those three steps, adding a section, add a page, and then you add to your pages what information you want. That's really how a notebook works if you think about it, logically, right? So it's like the electronic way to jump in there. And this is free, and this app, you can download it on Mac, and even if you wanted to just download it on your PC, you'd be able to see how it syncs the notes, and that's amazing because you would type something in your phone, and then it's going to send it to the OneNote on your computer. And the one on the computer is similar because you need to have the same ID, right? So again, if you know your Hotmail password, if you know your Microsoft password, you would use that exact same thing on both devices. So that's going to be a little different when you take Apple, which you guys already hopefully know your password for, and then you move to the PC, which would use that same password you use for Microsoft. So far I've given you guys a lot of stuff. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay, so this thing bugs me out because I have both accounts. I have Hotmail and I have Hotmail. Yeah, I have Hotmail and I have a Gmail.
Mm-hmm.
And the Gmail I use like when you want to go to a website, they ask you for an email, like for spam mail. I use that for the Gmail. So the Hotmail, right? I use it for my serious things. The problem is, I don't seem to sync the iPad with the iPhone. For some reason, I get the stuff more on the phone than I get on the iPad. I like to get the same amount of information, but sometimes I'll get it. But it's weird because some days I'll get it on both, and then some days I won't. I don't understand what's going on.
Right. So that's the part where so you guys already know how to get into settings, I think, because I showed that before, and if not, you'll refer to it later. But there's another one in here. So at the very tippy top, when you go into settings, it's got a profile picture. So there's my.
Okay, on the phone, right?
Yeah. See, Oh wait, 1 second.
No,
you
should I
should
do it on
see-
the phone or should I do it on the iPad?
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it's gonna sync. But
So
what I'm
I'm
saying is
okay. I'm in settings right now.
right, and at the very tippy top it says your name and click
Right,
on that
yeah.
one. Right.
I clicked
Where it
that.
has
Okay,
a profile
I
picture.
see that.
Right. And then what you're gonna do is click on iCloud.
iCloud, okay.
Right. And inside of there you're gonna see where there's the green check boxes. You're gonna
Oh, mail's not checked off. Oh, everything
Right.
is but mail.
right.
Wow.
So it
Says
it's act-
create to turn on the mail to the cloud.
right.
You gotta go, Captain.
Yep.
Wow, the
So-
whole time.
Right.
Oh,
So
it's asking. Oh, hold on, Jackie. Jesse, we're not out of the bushes yet, man. Hold on.
sure.
It's asking me for information. It says we cannot change your iCloud email address. I don't want to change it.
No. It shouldn't be
Oh,
saying
hold
I
on.
mean
Oh,
I only have this-
okay. I see
Yeah.
when I see. I'm on this screen right here. You see my screen?
Kinda. I mean, I could see the stuff you checked off.
All right. So when I click on mail, it tells me this. Look.
Yeah, I mean that's something we could take. So some of this stuff isn't as simple as just clicking the button, right?
So okay. So what should I create a mail? Turn on create.
I wouldn't play with it until I can talk with you.
Okay, I'm not gonna play with it. We
Right.
can always blame Tom if we mess it up.
Right. So again, this is just a refresher for people.
Thank
so
you.
they know.
Jeff. That's good.
No problem. But it's something in that spot. That's where you pick all the stuff that you want to save. So it's just important because if you don't click off some of those ones to green, it's not going to save stuff like your pictures or email, things of that nature. So
Right.
okay, so let's go back to the deck. So that's OneNote. All right, so password introduction. So yeah, that's how we feel when we have lots of passwords. Right. So don't forget to remember. So it sounds awesome. So remember the master password that you use on your Apple device. You guys need to know this. If you never forget, you're gonna have to go to that password to be able to do anything on your account, which it sounds like it doesn't matter, but it matters because that's what keeps all of your stuff safe and what lets you be able to get back in and download new stuff and things of that nature. So super important you guys don't forget.
Yeah, I love my It's a nightmare.
And no simple passwords. So password 123, that is a terrible password, and if you get hacked or identity theft or whatever happens, just this is something obviously you see a lot of companies, they just specialize in security. Because I'm not saying you should now, in order to protect it, you're probably gonna have to use a strong password nowadays. It's gonna be probably 8 letters, 1 uppercase, and a special symbol. So like Jersey City at 789 would be a good password because it's random. No one's gonna be able to guess that from this thing. If they're a really good hacker, they're gonna get your stuff anyway. But I mean, that's not an easy one to get into. Besides password. Now, this is the part where I want to emphasize that if you use any of this stuff, even Apple, for passwords, you need to remember your password, or you have to go here. Forgot your password.
Yeah, I've been
And
there
that
a lot of times.
is the worst. I mean, we all hate going to it. We've all probably used it. And I mean, this is something you just don't want to have to go to forgot your password a lot because it's infuriating. It really is. I mean, so please try to remember your master password because that's what's going to let you be able to keep using all these features is, you know, at least remembering the master so you can save all your passwords in the OneNote, in the Google Keep, or even in your Apple device, which I only have the iPad, but I keep a lot of just, you know, basic text. So limit what you store in the cloud. So Jess saying everything in the cloud is free, said no Jesse ever. Because keep it simple, you know, pictures and movies use tons of data. I said this already, but don't put a lot of, I mean, we all have pictures and stuff we want to save, but if you just selected a batch of it, I mean, how many times do you take a picture and it's like the same thing 50 times? So that kind of stuff uses up a lot of data, and it's cumulative, right? It just keeps building up. So don't keep things in the cloud you don't need. So I know this stinks. Nobody wants to go in there, select a million things, but some of it is grouped. So at least like when you did it, what kind of pictures might you have taken 50 shots of. And the applications listed by me are free, but there's a limit, right? So that 5 gig limit, it's all in gigs now. So 5 gigs, it's a lot of space if you're typing stuff in. It's not a lot of space if you're taking up pictures and slide decks like this, and videos. Videos, like I said, is the worst. It's just going to crush your storage, and then you're going to want to pay more for stuff that you just didn't account for. So just be careful when using this. Pictures is probably the most popular between movies and such. But, just try and keep it as clean as you can. So organize. Organize your notes, and just know that if you change your password, it usually expires at certain times. So this is another reason why it's important to know the password, because if you forget, you have to reset it. But if you just don't ever use it for whatever reason, or you have an old email account that you still use, just don't wait too long to actually use it, because eventually it will expire and you just might not know what it was before. So, okay, so this one I added because you should repeat your password pretty frequently. So just log in, and I'm sure a lot of people use their IDs and everything, even the Apple one, but I'll forget. So I actually have my own usage of these apps. OneNote, especially. OneNote's my favorite of all, because I can use it on any device. So I use it on both my iPad and my Android, and I can use it on my desktop. So I have it 3 different ways. It's all giving me the same information, exactly the same as the other ones. So super important. And head trauma is serious. It is easy for him. I'm just getting things people tell me, yes, sir. So